with the blood of one who loved you? If you have it, let it be revealed, since without it I do not talk with you of these dead you seek." Now I drew Zikali's talisman from its hiding place and held it towards her. "Give it to me," she said. I was about to obey when something seemed to warn me not to do so. "Nay," I answered, "he who lent me this carving for a while charged me that except in emergency and to save others, I must wear it night and day till I returned it to his hand, saying that if I parted from it fortune would desert me. I believed none of this talk and tried to be rid of it, whereon death drew near to me from a snake, such a snake as I see you wear about you, which doubtless also has poison in its fangs, if of another sort, Ayesha." "Draw near," she said, "and let me look. Man, be not afraid." So I rose from my chair and knelt before her, hoping secretly that no one would see me in that ridiculous position, which the most unsuspicious might misinterpret. I admit, however, that it proved to have compensations, since even through the veil I saw her marvellous eyes better than I had done before, and something of the pure outline of her classic face; also the fragrance of her hair was wonderful. She took the talisman in her hand and examined it closely. "I have heard of this charm, and it is true that the thing has power," she said, "for I can feel it running through my veins; also that it is a shield of defence to him who wears it. Yes, and now I understand what perplexed me somewhat, namely how it came about when you vexed me into unveiling, but let that matter be. The wisdom was not your own, but another's, that is all. Yes, the wisdom of one whose years have borne him beyond the shafts that fly from woman's eyes, that ruinous shafts which bring men down to doom and nothingness. Tell me, Allan, is this the likeness of him who gave it to you?" "Yes, Ayesha, the very picture, as I think carved by himself, though he said that it is ancient, and others tell that it has been known in the land for centuries." "So perchance has he," she answered dryly, "since some of our company live long. Now tell me this wizard's names. Nay, wait awhile, for I would prove that indeed you are his messenger with whom I may talk about the dead and other things, Allan. You can read Arabic, can you not?" "A little," I answered. Then from a stool at her side she took paper, or rather papyrus, and a reed pen, and on her knee wrote something on the sheet which she gave to me folded up. "Now tell me the names," she said, "and then let us see if they tally with what I have written, for if so you are a true man, not a mere wanderer or a spy." "The principal names of this doctor are Zikali, the Opener of Roads, the thing that should never have been born," I answered. "Read the writing, Allan," she said. I unfolded the sheet and read Arabic words which meant weapons, cleaver of rocks, one at whom dogs bark and children wail. "The last two are near enough," she said, "but the first is wrong." "Nay, Ayesha, since in this man's tongue the word Zikali means weapons." Intelligence at which she clapped her hands as a merry girl might do. "The man," I went on, "is without doubt a great doctor, one who sees and knows things that others do not. But I do not understand why this token carved in his likeness should have power, as you say it has." "Because with it goes his spirit, Allan. Have you never heard of the Egyptians, a very wise people who, as I remember, declared that man has a Ka, or double, a second self that can either dwell in his statue or be sent afar?" I answered that I had heard this. "Well, The Ka of the Zikali goes with that hideous image of him, which seemed to dream so much of him last night. Tell me now, what does Zikali want of me whose power he knows very well?" "An oracle, the answer to a riddle, Ayesha." "Then set it out another time. So you desire to see the dead, and this old dwarf, who is a home of wisdom, desires an oracle from one who is greater than he? Good. And what are you, or both of you, prepared to pay for these boons?" "Know, Allan, that I am a merchant who sells my favours dear. Tell me then, will you pay?" "I think that it depends upon the price," I answered cautiously. "Set out the price, Ayesha." "Be not afraid, O cunning dealer," she mocked. "I do not ask your soul, or even that love of yours which you guard so jealously, since these things I could take without the asking. Nay, I ask only what a brave and honest man may give without shame, your help in war and perhaps," she added with a softer tone, "your friendship, I think, Allan. I think, Allan, that I like you well, perhaps because you remind me of another whom I knew long ago." I bowed at the compliment, feeling proud and pleased at the prospect of a friendship with this wonderful and splendid creature, although I was aware that it had many dangers. Then I sat still and waited. She also waited, brooding. "Listen," she said after a while. "I will tell you a story and when you have heard it you shall answer, even if you do not believe it, but not before. Does it please you to listen to something of the tale of my life which I am moved to tell you, that you may know with whom you have to deal?" Again I bowed, thinking to myself that I knew nothing that would please me more, who was eaten up with a devouring curiosity about this woman. Now she rose from her couch and descending off the dais, began to walk up and down the chamber. I say to walk, but her movements were more like the gliding of an eagle through the air or the motion of a swan upon still water, so smooth were they and gracious. As she walked she spoke in a low and thrilling voice. "Listen," she said again, "and even if my story seems marvellous to you, interrupt and above all mock me not, lest I should grow angry, which might be ill for you. I am not as other women are, O Allan, who having conquered the secrets of nature—" Here I felt an intense desire to ask what secrets, but remembered and held my tongue. "To my sorrow have preserved my youth and beauty through many ages. Moreover, in the past perhaps in payment for my sins, I have lived other lives of which some memory remains with me. By my last birth I am an Arab lady of royal blood, a descendant of the kings of the East. There I dwelt in the wilderness and ruled a people, and at night I gathered wisdom from the stars and the spirits of the earth and air. At length I wearied of it all and my people too wearied of me and besought me to depart, for, Allan, I would have naught to do with men. Yet men went mad because of my beauty and slew each other out of jealousy. Moreover, other peoples made war upon my people, hoping to take me captive that I might be a wife to their kings. So I left them, and being furnished with great wealth in hoarded gold and jewels, together with a certain holy man, my master, I wandered through the world, studying the nations and their worships. At Jerusalem I tarried and learned of Jehovah, who is or was its God. At Paphos in the isle of Chittim I dwelt awhile till the folk of that city thought that I was Aphrodite returned to earth.